Welcome to today's vlog, guys, and I hope you guys are ready for another jam-packed day today. Today we're going to be talking about how to make any car handle better. And I kind of put this little list together just to kind of help any sort of car enthusiast, whether it be like a 97 Toyota Avalon like I have, or whether it be a 2003 Nissan 350Z, or any type of car, guys. It could be a truck, it could be a car, it could be a sedan, crossover, whatever it is. Everyone has their own type of ideology that they are going to be going through, and basically my idea is that I'm going to share what I think to be the top things to make any car handle better to you guys. The first things that I'm going to recommend is going to be tires. It's going to be the width on the tires. If you have a wider contact patch on the ground, that way you're going to get more traction, so when you go around corners you're going to be able to brake sooner, you're going to be able to go into the corners better. And that brings us to their next type. The next thing that's going to bring it up is going to be the type of tire. And essentially, guys, the type of tire really matters, whether it's a sport, whether it's a Pirelli, Michelin, whether it's an all-season, whatever it is, whatever you guys are going to do, whether it's off-roading, whether it's street racing, whether it's drifting, it all depends on the type of tire. And that brings us to the next thing. If you guys want more traction or less traction, more traction is better if you want to go off-roading, where less traction is more better if you want to learn how to drift. If you want less traction, I would recommend you lowering the PSI in the front tires, and I normally lower mine to like 22 PSI in the front, and I run my rears at 40, and it's supposed to be 35 PSI, and I find this to be a really good medium to where they both don't. If you go into a turn, I've had it be that if you drive and you have it be normal and you try and turn your wheel full crank, what'll happen is your wheel's gonna be full lock, but you're still gonna be going forward because your front tires aren't getting any traction and they're just sliding across the ground even though they're turned full to the one side. So if you have a wider contact patch paired with a lower PSI, it gives that patch a bigger thing because the tire's not round as much, it's kind of more sinking into the ground. You get a better contact patch, therefore it can go around corners a lot better. However, this does decrease your tire wear, or this does increase tire wear, so therefore you are going to be going through your tires a lot faster. Now with that said, we're going to be jumping into the next section, and that is going to be suspension. Suspension work is pretty ideal. I had I had coilovers put all around my Z. They're the most expensive ones. They're PBM racing coilovers, and it basically lowered the ride height. When I lowered the ride height, it also lowers your flip rating and stuff because there's a lower center of gravity. And then if you get them stiffened, I stiffened mine because I wanted to be able to drift and race my 350Z around corners. And so with the shocks all stiffened, I can not have to worry about my tires bumping up and down, and I can just worry about just going smooth around corners. As well as this needs to be adjustable, whether you're going off-roading or on the street, you can easily adjust them and just make them higher or lower. The only downside to this is that it does ruin your alignment, so therefore if you were to get bags and put your suspension on an air ride suspension, that would be a really good way to do that. Not only that, if you want to rigid up your body, you want to put a nice strut bar across the strut towers, both in the front and in the rear. And that 350Z, it already comes up with one in the front and already comes with one in the rear, and that really stiffens the chassis, makes it really nice and tight. Now you can go right around the corners and not have to worry about your body flexing as you go around corners. And this brings us to the third and final point today, guys, and that is going to be wide body. I wide bodied my 350Z because then I would have fiberglass panels, so that way if I ever totaled it or I hit a wall or whatever it may be, I can just unbolt the nice little rivets and put my new one on, drill the little riv nut holes and screw it right back in with an Allen wrench, guys. And it's a really super cheap and effective way to maintain the body without having to bend metal every single time back and ruining the car and having to start back from a brand new start. Because of your wide body, you are also able to have a wider wheelbase. With a wider wheelbase, that means that you're gonna have a less of a rollover probability, because with the wider wheelbase and a lowered suspension, you're able to keep your center of gravity lower to the ground. You're gonna have it over a wider contact patch, so you can go around corners and your car is more gonna slide rather than it is gonna flip, catch a rock or a rut and just flip. And because of that, you're gonna have a wider contact patch. If you throw on a bigger, fatter tire on it, a lot more meat will give you a lot more contact patch going with. And if you also decrease your PSI, that's gonna give it more in length. And that's gonna also be really beneficial in that way. And the last thing is it's gonna be that when you have a wide body, it's really beneficial because with wide bodies, guys, they're just so effective. If you break anything, you just wrap a new piece, you throw it right back on, and boom, you're back on the track. You're back on doing whatever you need to do, and so you're more focusing on the stuff that is actually important rather than fixing body panels to make it look presentable when you go to shows and stuff. And I hope you guys liked today's video. It's kind of like a last second thing, but I really wanted to make sure to get a video up for you guys today as I didn't have time to edit one last night. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and nothing left to say, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.